Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the John List podcast. My name is Tanya, and I am your host. First, I want to apologize for being absent the past few months. 2023 has not been a very good year for me, and I've been just trying to get everything back on track. Okay, so let's go ahead and start at the beginning. So John List, the man you see right here, was born in Bay City, Michigan in 1925. He was the son of strict German-American parents. This was John List as a child. And these are his parents, Alma List and Frederick List.
A quiet childhood. I was an only child, so there were no brothers or sisters to either play with or fight.
I mean, I kind of feel bad for John List in this situation because, you know, there are both pros and cons of having siblings or not having siblings. Trust me. But his mother, Alma, like, from what I've heard about her, she was very overprotective of her son. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like she was too overprotective because she wouldn't let him go outside and play with the other kids or play sports or anything. Like, when he left the house to go to school, he came straight home. He didn't play with the neighbor kids. She was afraid that he would either get into something that she didn't want him to get into or that he would get dirty. And obviously, boys get dirty, you know. It's almost like their job when they're kids. Of course, I don't have any brothers, but that's just what I've heard. But, you know, it's like, I've even seen a movie about John List, and I'm not sure if this actually happened or not. So I will have to check some of the books that I have about John List and keep you guys updated. But if it is true, in the movie, Alma List was giving her son, who was, I want to say maybe 10, 11 in the clip, she was giving him a bath. She was bathing him. And I know that kids, you know, they're not really the best at cleaning themselves, but let's just say, like, it was just very disturbing. And when I was in the comment section on that YouTube video, a lot of people thought that maybe she molested him, which I don't think that's the case, but it was still beyond creepy. Now, his father, Frederick, here, he was described as a stern, hardworking man who valued self-efficiency. Or sufficiency, I should say, sorry. And the problem is, let me put it to you this way, you guys. He was 64 years old when John List was born, and his wife, Alma List, was 38 when John was born. So there was quite an age difference. 26 years? Yeah, 26 years. And the thing is, you know, when it comes to age differences, you know, like, I guess it just depends. You know? Yeah. But in another way, I actually do feel feel bad for John List when it comes to his father, because unfortunately, he did refer to his son as the boy. And that's sad. You should never refer to your child like that. And I don't know, maybe Frederick didn't want to be a father, or maybe Alma did. Like, maybe she wanted the baby more, like, who knows. But I feel like when you become a parent, you know, it's your responsibility. You know? That's what you're supposed to do. You're the father. You're supposed to be the one to teach John how to be a man and to be a really good provider for the family and a good example. And he was a hard worker. But according to Alma List, he was wasting his life. Apparently, he did drink, which, I mean, I don't know if he was an alcoholic or not, but, I don't consider that wasting your life, to be honest with you, because he was a hard worker. And according to the John List video that I saw, John was not crazy about drinking, maybe because his father drank and Alma didn't want John to do that. It just seems like the problem was John List was the kind of person where if something was bothering him, he would repress it and just keep it bottled up. But the problem is, if there's anything that people can learn from this case, is that keeping things bottled up isn't going to do you any good. Yeah, so I feel like I'm perfectly fine with people being overprotective of their children, but when you're preventing them from having the social interactions that they need to succeed in life, then that's when it gets bad. And you'll find out later in this case how much John struggled with social interactions. He didn't have many friends. And the really weird thing is, when John came home from school, he would sit on the porch and watch the neighbor kids play. They didn't ask him to play with them, obviously. But even if they did, John wasn't interested. Basically, whatever his mom said was what went. And the thing is, I heard that his mother could be overbearing, very controlling, kind of cold and stuff. Like, it's very creepy in a way, the way she was. Like, maybe later I can show a clip from the John List movie. I'm trying to be careful because of copyright. I don't necessarily know how that stuff works. But, actually, no. I can actually act the way she would say it. Okay, so in the clip, when she was bathing John, I'm going to go ahead and give you an example of how she spoke. From the moment you leave this house in the morning until you come home from school, you are at the mercy of this world. Evil like this dirt seeks you out. You don't have to go looking for it. It gets under your skin. It seeps in through the pores. But Mama, I didn't do anything to get dirty, I swear. If you look, it is all around you, like those boys and their grimy little games. Even your father tries to bring them into this house, and I'll have none of it. He drinks, Mama. I'll have none of it. And neither will you, whether if it's drinking or wasting your life like your father has. A moment away from your goals is a sin, a mortal sin, and against everything I ever taught you. Remember that. And the thing is, man, can you believe, like, a mother talking to a child like that? I mean, in that clip, when she was saying all that stuff while she was bathing John, like I said, he was like 10, 11, 12, somewhere around there. And I was never taught to like that by my parents. My parents were very loving and supporting. I mean, yeah, there were times when my dad, he's a good guy, don't get me wrong. But my father does tend to have a bad habit of keeping his emotions bottled up, and he would call me a baby if I would get upset, but I pretty much ignore it, because the truth is, whether if you're a male or a female, there's nothing wrong with being sensitive or emotional. And that's something that needs to change in today's society, because they always say that the man is supposed to be the tough guy. Don't show emotions, don't cry, be tough. No. Because if we learned anything from this case especially, it's that when men keep stuff bottled up, or even if women keep stuff bottled up, it's not gonna come out well. Okay, so I think that's a pretty good stop for this episode. So please tell me what you think about this in the comments. And yeah, I'm going to try to make more videos soon. And yeah, let's have a great conversation.